So if you were to kind of take your life in the military, living on base, whether it's at home or overseas, is there one memory that stands out to you more than anything else?
Oh, I think as we said at the very beginning, I, I hope it's still true. But military people, when I was a kid, military families backed each other up. And if you wanted, when you went into it, think about mindset. When you went to a new quarters, you moved to a new base. People left. I know this sounds minor. People left behind toilet paper, and they left behind extra light bulbs, and you had a sponsor, and people came across the street to welcome you, who you never knew, because the way it works, for the kids, the way it works is. The first year, you're getting to know everybody. The second year, you're having a great time. The third year, you're worried because you know at the end of the third year, you're getting ready to move someplace else. So you know right away, if you're a military kid, if you're going to make friends, you better make them quick, because you may not see them in 4 or 5 years. Luckily for us, we kept moving back and forth. But my friends, I think that I cherish the most are military kids. I'm not going to tell you it was always perfect. Well, we had a neighbor who's, Thorholm, the on-base housing where we lived for a time was all duplexes. And we had a neighbor who lived on the other side of the duplex who just could not stand black folks. But, military, so you just had to keep them up close and take it. Well, then my father got promoted to a rank above her husband. He got promoted to Chief Master Sergeant. And she just couldn't handle that. So she was told this, my sister, you can't come in my yard anymore. Well, interestingly, I can remember all those neighbors. I won't tell you their name, but the neighbors on the other side of them were the Attaways. On the other side of them were the Trujillos. On the other side of them were the Scalas. And the other side of them were the Tunners. All those neighbors who were all white told their kids, you can't, if they can't walk in their yard, you can't walk in their yard. And, that may sound minor, but at the time,
oh no,
that's
not minor at all.
They didn't have to get into that fight, but they did. They said, no, we're not going to put up with this. So those are the kinds of things that I took away from.
See, I think what I draw out of that, John, is the accountability that we should all have towards our fellow human being. And there are, somebody was telling me a story the other day about something that happened on I think it was a New York subway, and how, some
woman who was assaulted or something like that.
Yeah, well, I think the dad, there was a dad with 2 girls, and he wasn't wearing a mask or something like that. And some young lady sitting there was mouthing off to him because he didn't have his mask on. And he basically, said, walked over and said, say that again. If you say that again, and of course, she said it again, and he smacked her and knocked her, like, her head into the pole. And everybody's just kind of going on about their business. Like, I'm not going to get involved, and regardless of who's wrong and who's right on something like that, they never should have gotten to that point. Somebody should have had the smarts to step in and say, hey, lady, back off, sir, calm down. But what you're talking about, to me, is the beauty of the military in that regard. You got one person who's being an idiot. I mean, let's just call it like it is. They're being an idiot because, their husbands have the same the same challenges ahead of them, the same life and death decisions. And at the end of the day, their blood is going to bleed the same color. And that's that's the hill you want to die on. So the fact that all of these other people left and right of it are basically saying, okay, you're outcasting yourself. I love that. I love that. And that's what I think a lot of people need to understand about the military is, we got some stupidity, but we police it pretty well inside our own ranks.
Yeah. I mean, they do. because when I tell that story, people say, well, you know, there've been racism in the military. I say, oh yeah, I didn't see my first black officer until I was in junior high school, and he was a lieutenant colonel. He was a chaplain, a SAC chaplain, I remember. But that was the 60s. I asked you, what's happened since then? I mean, I would put the improvements in terms of relations in the military up against what I see in the civilian world any day of the week, any day of the week. And some of that has to, you know, some of that has to do with one of the things that I did learn living on military bases was loyalty is an important thing, and loyalty to friends is an important thing. You know, there's all these movies that talk about, well, you know, these guys, they got in the military and they defended their country, and I say, you know, that's true, they did that, but you know, they were also defending the person who was next to them. I mean,
Absolutely.
That is every kid who I know in the military walked away from living on bases understanding that there is something that links us that maybe isn't in the civilian world. Because there are some people, you know, again, during the Vietnam War, we said, well, there's some people who just don't like us. Well, that's okay. You know, that's okay. We like us, and we'll be just fine.